Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Boozer. I'm with CUGC HQ, and I'm happy to welcome you to today's user share webinar. We are going to be seeing a live demo and looking at Citrix Virtual Apps with FSLogix containers and Office 365. So I know there's been a lot of interest in this lately, and I'm not going to take up too much time because I know you guys want to get into all the details. Before we get off and running, I want to just let you know a couple of housekeeping details. Today's webinar is being recorded, and you will receive a link to the recording tomorrow. That email is going to come directly from GoToWebinar, so just make sure you keep an eye out for that. Also, as we go along, if you have questions, please type those into the question panel at any time. We're going to save questions for the end of the presentation, but I do want you to type them in as you have them so that we don't forget them. But we will get to as many questions as we can at the end of everything. And then finally, once everything's all done, I have a short survey I'd love for you to fill out. It's anonymous and it's for CUGC use only. I will drop a link to that survey in the chat, and that'll come at the end of the webinar also. All right, so with us today, we have a couple of awesome CUGC members. We have Jani Kohonen. He is a Citrix technology advocate and a consultant. And we also have Manuel Winkel, a virtualization and infrastructure solutions expert. Jani and Manuel, I'm just going to turn things over to you at this point and let you guys talk a little bit more about yourselves and get us started. And Manuel, I'm going to send the screen over to you now.
Okay. Okay, I can start. All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I've been doing Citrix since the 90s. So I started from the MetaFrame. So MetaFrame came to present as a server and then XenUp, and nowadays Citrix Virtual Apps. So pretty old school. I got my first CCA certificate in 2001. So I love the Citrix. I love to present Citrix. I love to do the Citrix. So that's it. So Manuel.
Yeah, my name is Manuel Winkel. I live in the beautiful Rhineland in Germany, and I've been working in IT for 15 years, most of the time with Citrix. At the moment, I work as lead IT consultant at MSC German Services AG in Germany, and since 1 year, I blog on my website data.net. Now to the next screen. Oh, yeah, your presenter.
So customer case study, why we are talking about here on FSLogix is a lot of customers goes nowadays from the on-premises into cloud. So most challenges comes with the cloud solutions, Outlook, OneDrive, Teams, OneNote, etc. How to handle that all data on the user profiles when you're using non-persistent desktops. So if you go to the next slide, so solution would be FSLogix for the win. There is no such a solution that the FSLogix brings at the nowadays for the Office 365 containers, Outlook and cast mode, real-time search, everything on non-persistent desktops. So you can use it with a Citrix user profile management and or without it, full containers.
So I must switch the view. Thanks for the content. So, oh, sorry. Yeah. The central point of our webinar is to implement Office 365 in a Citrix Virtual Apps environment. Hopefully everyone knows what Citrix Virtual Apps, aka Citrix XenApp, is. It allows users to launch and operate published apps and desktops from any device. Let us come to the difference between the two FSLogix container technologies. We got Profile Container and Office Container. The profile container in the profile container, you can place the entire user profile and attach the whole user profile saved in the VHDX file over the network on the end user computer. Therefore, it's extremely fast logon times. You got extremely fast logon times, and it works independent alongside existing user environment management platforms. In the Office container, you only save the Office data, the OST files, your OneDrive data, your Teams install data, your Office activation, your shared activation token, the SFB gal, and all of your Office data and stuff. It's not only about Office 365. You can use it with Office 216, 219, and so on. The Office apps have native performance and behavior because it looks like you don't use any container. It looks like it's native in your Explorer.
Yeah, basically always sees it as a local.
Yes. Yeah, some design considerations directly from FSLogix. The important point on this slide is refs, because if you use refs for your storage of the file server, you got let me tell you a little story about refs. A customer of mine implemented this with me for the container storage, and normally with the NTFS storage drive, you see after logging out of a read-write image, you see on the file server the parental disk and the read-write disk, and you can see how the merge going on. The profile disks are gone bigger, and after seconds, you see that the read-write disks are gone. With an refs formatted system, you don't have a chance to see after log off from the desktop. You don't see the read-write disk. It's gone so fast. The merge gone so fast that you even have no chance to see the merge process anymore. and other design considerations are concurrent user sessions should be treated with caution, because at Office container is the last right win, and at profile container you don't have really concurrent use. You only can use the first session with read-write, and all other sessions get the read-only access to the this container. Yeah, the FSLogix requirements. Simple. You need a file share SMB with NTFS or refs. You can plan for profile container between 5 and 15 GB per user, and you need 5 to 15 IRPs per user. License, I think you see the license requirements. Jani, do you want to say anything? Oh.
One thing keep in mind, it's FSLogix now supports cloud storage.
Oh yeah.
Cloud a bit misleading word because actually what it means, it was a multiple locations. So you can save your FSLogix containers in multiple locations. And what it does, it actually does that you can really have a XenUp environment. You can really have a production tier environment nowadays. That's only FSLogix can do that thing. So like you all you guys know that Citrix user profile management doesn't support like DFSR that kind of thing because Microsoft doesn't support it. But now even FSLogix belongs to Microsoft. Yeah, FSLogix now supports it. So you can actually save your containers, Office 365 or profile containers in multiple places. So you can have a real TR with FSLogix.
All right. Yeah, a quick how to implement FSLogix. Install the FSLogix agent. Adjust the FSLogix user groups locally at the worker, and edit the group policy template. Implement the group policy template and edit it for your for your needs, Office 365 containers or profile containers. Yeah, the concurrent sessions in detail. You have two GPO settings that are must set: allow concurrent user sessions and profile type. With the profile type, you define your your type of profile, especially the type of VHD file handling. With normal direct access, you can only start one session with profile container. The second session gets an error 20. With read-only profile, you have one profile container and no one can edit it. You can pull it to many workers, but no one can edit it, and it's a maintenance profile. With read-write profile, every new session gets a difference disk, and the difference disk are write back after the logging off. But you can only have one read-write profile. So read-write profile implemented only one session. If you want more than one session, you must use different GPO catalogs, different GPOs for different OUs, to example. One with a read-write profile access, to example, the published desktop. And if you use a double hop, a published app in a published desktop, you can give the published app farm server, Zilo server, the read-only profile. So only the desktop profile are write back, and the Zilo worker read-only. Or you use the last setting, try for read-write profile and fall back to read-only. If you log on, the first session, the system check for a read-write disk on the location of the profile disk. If no read-write disk are present, they go to the read-write modus, create a read-write difference disk, and you can write it back after the log off. If you start a second session and the first session are presented and the first session are, oh my god, I have a hack.
Yeah. So Manuel, I think we all will see this on the live demo after this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But on the Office container, we have real concurrent session use. We can make multiply write disk, and here are the rule are last write back win. So yeah, some install instructions for a multi-user system of 365.
If I can add, this is the requirements for the FSLogix all the way, because it's Office 365, it's Teams, it's a OneDrive. OneDrive makes a huge thing about why we really need to use the FSLogix, because it's a non-persistent desktop. Every time OneDrive synchronizes, it will be loaded on your profile without a FSLogix.
Yes. Yeah, OneDrive and Citrix are without FSLogix. You have the choice, enlargement of the profile or increase the data stream because the data is synchronized each time. With FSLogix, it's all stored in the container. Teams the same, enlargement of the profile because the install data of Teams and the Teams login is not persistent, or all saved in the container. Profile container, Office container, it's don't care. Here's some Teams tuning. First of all, MachineBased Instant.
This is deep technical stuff.
Yeah. It's we only see the PPT as a reference book. We concentrate more on the live demo to show you the cool stuff directly. So the PPT you can read it later. Yeah, the lock-on times. Jani?
I had a customer. They didn't use FSLogix or even user profile management before. Lock-on times were like 2 or 3 minutes. I managed to handle with user profile management a combination with Office 365 containers, did 21 seconds or so. So it's really huge improvements when there's thousands of concurrent users. And I think, Manuel, are you ready for the live?
Yes. The live demo. So I log on. I forgot my password. Yeah, first of all, some information about our demo environment. It's completely hosted in Azure and not with the most expensive machines. So don't be surprised if it seems a bit sluggish. It's a Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop version 1909 and FSLogix version.
I think still better than my lab.
Yeah. Do you see 4 workers? All Windows Server 2016. For the different scenarios, we got one only with UPM or Citrix Profile Management. Sorry for the old name. One with UPM and activated Office container, and 1 for the profile container. So I can show you later the concurrent use. But first of all, we look at the configuration of FSLogix. Therefore, we go to the GPOs. I got here my GPO. The important settings are for the location and the enabled setting. If these 2 points are set, FSLogix can start at work. Of course, you should consider the other options and configure them if necessary. So you have OneDrive, activate OneDrive. If you use OneNote, activate this. Or in profile container, it is a dynamic VHDX allocation or the profile type. I use it for my lab read-write profile and forward to read-only to show you the concurrent use. And in the Office 365 container, I use difference stored on network. It's important in the later, yeah.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you exclude admins not to have a profile container when they log on to the XenOps server?
With the local worker group.
Yes.
If you are on the here is a worker, you can start the computer management, and you have several new groups if you install the FSLogix. And here you can exclude your local admins out of the Office container and out of the profile container use. So let's start the first desktop. The UPM desktop. The first thing you notice is the very long login time. Of course, they have a large profile which stores both the OneDrive data and the Teams data. We are talking about 500 MB of data here. And the Azure problem. So, come on. Yes. Hello. Hello. Come on.
That's called demo effect.
Yes.
It always.
All right. Now take a look at the desktop, and we see that our OneDrive login are broken, and our Teams login are non-persistent. Yeah. Sign in, close, edit it anytime. Come on. And if you look at the user profile,
What's the biggest profiles you've seen when you're synchronizing OneDrive data?
A profile with 3 GB.
Okay. Was that on 2016 or 2019?
2016. And the user has no problems with his logon time. You can go to the coffee bar and drink 2 or 3 coffees. Original comment. Unbelievable. So we go to the profile and we see a profile about 300 MB only. And you think, but here are the OneDrive data in the profile, and in the app data we have the Teams installed data. (114 MB). And we use a machine-based installer.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing when customers are migrating from the Sky for Business to Teams data, they don't realize that what's the actual data included on the user profiles.
Yeah. So we log off. Of course, this is not our environment. We want Office container. For this, we exclude or delete some data out of the UPM profile. And the second logon on the second desktop on faster. Windows. I'm on the front. Sorry, window and window inception. XD profile, user 1, 16, UPM profile. We are pending. Oh, yeah, we are pending. Yes, now we are online. We close the OneDrive data and the Teams data. We don't need this data anymore. Microsoft Teams, delete. And now we can log on to the second desktop, UPM with Office container.
Have you ever seen issues multiple same time logons on the 2016-2019 using like a basically, let's say Outlook OST file? Have you seen any issues with it?
No, I don't have any issues.
Yeah, obviously not because you're pro.
No, but I don't see any problems like this. Of course, yeah, the profile disk is every time the same. The profile disk or the Office disk, it's not related to the OS, it's related to the user. If the user log on Windows 2019 or 16, the data is the same for the user. Or what do you want to know? So here we are on the second desktop. We notice a faster login, and our logins are persistent. We have our Teams login and our OneDrive login. We got all our data. And if we look at the Explorer, it seems that the data is on the profile. Yeah, OneDrive data.
Do you have a WM installed?
What installed? Sorry.
WM. WIM.
WEM.
Yeah.
WEM, Workspace Environment Management.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's installed.
Could you show us some data from it?
You want to see the WEM? All right.
Yeah, if you can browse the logon times data from it.
Yeah, 1 second. Administration console. And we get monitoring. Daily login report. We see we have much more system with a very short login time, and these are the VDA 02 system with UPM installed with OneDrive data and Teams. So we do,
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
This is with profile container. This is with Office container and UPN, and this is clearly our UPNs with Office 365 data in it. So it's not a productive system here, it's my demo lab. So
Manuel, do you think we are ready for the Q&A now?
We can do it.
If there's anyone who wants to ask a question or anything. Stephanie, do we have any questions?
You have a lot of questions, actually.
Oh, really? A lot of? Because I don't see them, you know.
Okay.
Okay, let's start for the first.
Okay, so let me go to the top.
Because if there's a lot of questions, I think this might take some time, you know.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll just start at the beginning. And if it's something you've actually already answered, you know, just say you've already answered it, or we'll move on. The first one is, do you guys see any improvement in logon duration when implementing profile containers, even in cases with small profiles?
I think Manuel has the data from that. Do you?
Yes, even with small profiles, the logon experience is impressive fast because you don't need to synchronize any data from your store to your worker. You see it later with the profile container. The logon is under 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's insanely fast.
Yeah, insane. Are files on demand available for server 2016 with RDS services? I read it's not supported until server 2019. Yes, it's only available with Windows Server 2019. Or Jani?
Say again.
Files on demand.
Yes.
With server 2016 or 2019.
Yeah, that's because of Microsoft OS. On 2016, files demand is not supported on the OneDrive, so that brings your problems when you want to synchronize. Like it's not the OneDrive, but if you want to synchronize your SharePoint, so it will synchronize all the data. It's going to be a huge problem if you don't have storage enough. You know, normally customers doesn't have a storage enough. You know, but when you bring it to 2019. Server desktop, Xenops server desktop, then it's the files on demand on OneDrive is supported then, but you need to be careful. If you still have users using 2016 desktops and they log on to 2019, you know what happens. All files are still synchronized.
Yeah. The next question, can we use together profile container for user profile and Office container for OneDrive 365? Yes, it's later in the live demo, the Windows profile container machines in my lab are using profile container for the profile and Office container for the whole Office thing. We get another question in this direction. Oh, I don't see it anymore. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can do it together. Oh my goodness. I search it. Next question better. Does this mean that the solution is not XenApp, Citrix Virtual Apps compatible? This makes it look like it is VDI only. It depends. The Office 365 container is, in my opinion, fully compatible to XenApp, because you can have multiply read-write disk, and you get the same problem with Citrix profile management. Last right win. But the profile container, yeah, if you need more than one machine and at all the machines you need to write your profile back, yes, then you must use UPM for your profile or any other profile solution, and FSLogix only with the Office container. Microsoft Office F1 license giving users Office Online version. Why FSLogix is required? Jani?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a customer thing.
Why did you put me on this?
Nah, I want to wake you up. No, it's a customer thing. I don't have any customer that use the online version. The customer in Germany, for example, wants to use the whole installed Office environment. No one, in my opinion, use the online version. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that earlier today.
Yeah,
how
because we are
how
IT.
good it
Okay.
went?
Yeah. Does it work on hosted apps on 2016 and or shared desktop 2016? Yes. My whole demo lab are on Windows Server 2016 with shared desktop, and hosted apps are worked as the same. You must have caution because the write back of the Office container, and that you only have one profile container that is writable.
I have one question here.
Yeah.
So if you may, question is, can you use same GPO for Windows 10 and Windows Server? If so, how? So I'm not sure if this question is related to that using FSLogix on the Windows 10 computers as well, or is it VDI or VDA related? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So basically question is yes. Answer is yes.
So we continuing on the live demo or search for question? Yeah.
Do we have any questions left?
Yeah, so many.
Really? Let's go all them through.
Oh, what options are available for migrating existing UPM profiles to FSLogix? Yeah.
Hey, that thing, you know.
Yeah, we have. Thanks to David Ott, they give us a script to migrate the UPM profiles to profile container. We see this later in the live demo. When we switch to the profile container, I migrate the existing UPM profile to the profile container profile. For an existing customer who has UPM in use, it is possible to migrate the existing. Okay, we got this. Yeah, we currently use mandatory profiles. Is there a way to leverage mandatories or template profiles with FSLogix? Jani, do you know
it? Say again the question, because I'm reading all the other questions at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
So please say it again.
Is there any possibles? We currently use mandatory profiles. Is there a way to leverage mandatories or template profiles with FSLogix?
Yeah, you can use mandatory profiles. It's a company policy to use the mandatory profiles. It's not that different, you know. How do you do it in old school? But I have one question here.
Yeah.
Tom, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Tom Cao. Can we use together profile container for user profile and Office container for OneDrive 365?
I answered it.
Yeah, you already answered that.
Yeah, that was the first question.
I need to browse down.
How could we implement the Teams to use installer for VDI for non-persistent machines? From Udave Yahoo. Yeah, I show you the line in the presentation. If you use this, you must download the MSE installer and use this line on the machine, and then the Teams is machine-based installed and supported for VDIs. Jani, do you have any question? Fine. Will we need to increase the PVS write cage size for O365 container, or is all O365 data going directly to the VHDX on the file server? From Eric Gilliland. Jani, do you have any experience with PVS and FSLogix?
PVS?
Yes.
Yes, I do. It nothing different than MCS. It's just how do you provide your VDI? You know, it's just it's same. It's same. So FSLogix should work on same way on MCS or on PVS than if you have a standalone desktop. There's nothing different.
So we must not increase the PVS write cage for the O365 container, because the O365 data going directly to the VHDX.
It's not a write cache. It's a container, and the PVS cache is different.
It's a disk.
Yes.
So you don't need to change the write cage in PVS or MCS.
Yes.
So what we got? More question or live stream?
Have you gone through all the questions already?
Oh, I lost. All right. Log on duration, any files on demand. Any experience with using FSLogix Cloud Cage? Is there any benefit to use Cloud Cage on premise?
Yeah, there is because like I was saying earlier, this cloud word is misleading. It only means different location to save your data. That's what it does. So this means and enables you really have the production DR environment on a Xenopy environment where you have a non-persistent environments. So you really now can enable the same profiles for the same user on different data centers. You know, that wasn't possible before of FSLogix, because it's not just a Citrix, it's not just anything else, it's just a Microsoft that they doesn't support it. So with the FSLogix, when you save on the cloud, it means you save the data on different location. You use synchronizing, you use cache data to synchronize the data. So you can have now really profiles saved on different places and use the same profile.
Yeah. Next question. Is it possible to configure the local worker group FSLogix ODFC exclude include list by the FSLogix policy or only local? By Brian Keatson. Yeah, it's
I think we went through this question already when I asked you how to exclude the admins.
Yeah, it's only possible local.
Yes, it is. It is not managed by our GPO.
Yeah. When implementing FSLogix, what is the best way to migrate the UPM profile to the FSLogix profile container? I see a two-stage migration. First stage, implement Office container to get the whole Office 365 data in the Office container, and then migrate with the script from David Ott from UPM profile to profile container. You migrate the whole data from the UPM to the FSLogix profile container. Oh, Jani?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
How many questions we have left?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, you do have a lot of questions. I don't know if you want to take some of them offline. We can also post the answers at mycudc.org if you need to do that.
Stephanie, tell me how many questions we actually have.
And it doesn't count them, but there are a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you see issues where temporary, one question only. Have you seen issues where temporary profiles are being created when trying to use profile containers? From Steve Watkins. This is the biggest thing on profile container. Do you never ever see temporary profiles with profile container?
No.
Or do you see it anymore, Jani?
No.
No. Okay. Would I use the profile container and Office container in the same deployment, or have the profile container capture the Office data also? If you use only the profile container get the whole profile with all of the Office data. The profile container, the Office 365 container is a part of the profile container.
Mm-hmm.
If you use only one, the profile container, it's stored in one location. But
this is only my opinion. This is only my opinion how you usually implement it, because FSLogix, all to win, perfect stuff. It's a king, you know. But still, I don't implement full profile containers. I only implement Office 365 containers with using Ivanti or using a Citrix user profile management. So because I want to still manage my user profiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, lock-on times, yes, all the good. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, all the good. Full profiles, all the good. But then you need to have a customer that actually have a space to save that all data, you know?
Yeah.
It's not cheap, you know? So I still like to exclude things from the user profiles, if you know what I mean, you know? So you can do it on XML5 on the profile containers, but it's not the same. But because I love the combination with Citrix user profile management or Ivanti or what else with FSLogix Office 365 containers.
Yeah. So Back to the live demo. We got any?
Is it still running?
Yeah, it's. Oh my goodness. Okay, the live demo. Here we have a desktop with installed UPM and activated UPM and activated Office container. If we go to the computer management, we see the disk, the O365 disk. And if we go to the, first of all, under the program data, FSLogix, logs, we see all the logs and all the FSLogix apps we see on the program files, FSLogix apps. Here we have the configuration tool. With the configuration tool, you can edit the inclusion and exclusion list, edit the default size of the container, and you can create, my goodness, you can create the redirection XML files. For that, you open a file, a container. No, it's open already. Not locked container. I know you can exclude contacts, downloads, pictures, or any other folder you want not to store in the FSLogix profile container. And after you edit it, you can save the template. After the save the template, you must copy it to a central storage where all the worker can get it, and you can set GPO where the redirection XML file is. Another cool tool from FSLogix.
Can I ask a question, Manuel?
Yeah.
Is there any differences to just edit the register entries on the server of cold image than use the ADMX templates?
Yeah, the settings are the same, but if you want to test something on one worker, you can edit it with the registry, and you don't need to wait for the GPO.
Actually, what I mean, my question, is there all the same settings into ADMX template than in registry?
Yes.
Okay.
There are no difference.
Okay.
So the FXL tray, open. If you go to the advanced view, you see only the profile container data, not the Office container data, and you see the different log files in it. So we can give the container a drive letter and go directly to the container and open the native file explorer I'm using.
Manuel, can you ask a question?
Yeah.
What's your experience of the Teams data? Because I see a lot of customers migrating from the Skype for Business to Teams. So what's your experience of that?
Yeah, Teams data are much more than Skype for Business. I have a customer with over 1 gigabyte of data in its Teams folders.
But do you see any other storage requirements for the Teams data when the customers are migrating from the Skype for Business to Teams?
Other than FSLogix?
Yeah. I mean just the storage. related now?
You need per user between 2 GB of data.
Yeah, because that's the thingy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're using Teams, you need to roam that data in the user session. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So yeah.
Yeah. The Office container. We have in the Office container some folders. For example, the ODFC. Here we got the OST and NST files, the ROM page, the OAB offline address books, or in the ODFC personalization, we got the SRS and XML files from Outlook, the shared activation token, the OneDrive data, or the Teams installer data. And if we create here and folder, we see it directly in the user profile. Of course, there are SYN links directly between the user data and the file, this Office container.
All right. I think Stephanie has some slides to show as well before this ends.
Sorry?
Stephanie, are you here?
Yep, I'm still here. Are you guys all finished? You did.
I
know we have a.
I think we finished. I think you want to show some slides before we end this.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple of closing slides for everyone.
Manuel, are you okay to close this down, or are we done?
Oh, I want to show the migration of the profile container. Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead if you want.
What?
Go ahead if you want.
Oh, okay. Oh, only the profile container. It's a cool thing. Sign out. So we get to go to the profile container. And start the second profile container and look at the share. So we see the different file types. Share, container, user one. So we got here the VDA03 ODFC, read-write disk, the read-write disk for the profile container, and here are the VDA04 ODFC, the Office container disk for the second desktop. If we change anything in this desktop with the rewrite disk, it's right back to the profile. If we change anything in this desktop, nothing right back. Of course, we got in the Windows 10 profile the read-only disk. They are saved locally at the worker. So who wants to see the migration of a UPN to profile container? Or we must break up the session here because we are over 1 hour. Stephanie?
Yeah, I guess what's the timing on that if you did do it?
All right.
How long would it take you to show the migration? Oh, people are saying show, please.
Oh, okay. All right. So we go to the system, delete the profile disk. There are only one, no rewrite, because we log off. We can
Stephanie,
mount it.
would you ask a question? Have you seen ever so many questions on the webinar?
This is a lot of questions. I think I can think of a couple other ones, but yeah, this is a lot today.
So we have here the script from David Ott. You must define your no profile location container in my demo lab, your old profile location, and your subfolder to the profile. We start the whole thing. We get a select profile. We only want to be grade user 1. And the following down with the script, he gets a username from the profile path, use the username to get the SID, creates a profile folder if it doesn't exist, sets the whole sets the user as the owner of the disk, and gives them full control, and so on. So we got it. Container user 1. Here are our containers. So we mount it to the file server, and we see the profile, app data, roaming, Microsoft, CUGC folder. This is a folder that I create before in the UPM. So if we now log on to the profile container, we must get an error because we locked the container on the file server here. So we let it free. And send a second.
I think we are over time already. So do we have any questions we haven't answered yet, sir?
You probably do. If you want to pick out maybe 2 or 3 more to answer, and then what I can do is I can send you guys all of the questions afterwards, and whatever we don't get to today, maybe you guys can type up some answers, and I can put a post out on the CUGC forum.
Absolutely, but I love to answer on live, you know.
I know.
So we've got the user, app data, roaming, CUGC folder up here.
Manuel, could you pick some serious question from the top of the list?
I'll try the best. Do you see many local profiles getting created because a user's profile container is unavailable? You can set to the GPO that if the profile container not available, the user don't log on with a local profile or a temporary profile. I would recommend this. We just built a new setup image with FSLogix Office containers. When I open Outlook, if I look at the indexing status, it appears that nothing has been indexed, as it shows that it needs to index thousands of items.
I know this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know this thing. This is the, if you're using Citrix Optimizer, it basically what it does by default, it disables the Windows indexing service on your code image, you know. So you need to be careful with that, because Citrix Optimizer is a good stuff. You should use it. You need to use it, but you need to be careful if you want to roam OSD file with the FSLogix. You need to be enable the Windows search index.
Yeah. With activated index search, Windows search, the indexing is complete.
Yeah, what I mean is kind of funny, because by default, all those optimization tools and scripts you use, they disable it by default, because obviously you should disable it by default, you know. But if you're using FSLogix, you don't need to do that anymore, you know.
Yeah, and if we rebuild the search index with the following command, we set user search db user data slash user 01. Okay, I need to copy this and start.
I think we should get an option to people to vote if people want to have this webinar to 2 hours.
Yeah, sorry.
I think there was already someone who asked for a part 2.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. cd FSLogix, cd apps. That's the same thing. Bye-bye. Operation complete. So if you go to options, search, indexing option, indexing speed is reduced due to user activity. But
Yes.
if you have problems with your indexing, you can use this command to reduce this. And I see one question with too big. If the FSLogix container are gone too big, we have a tool for this. We have the link in our slides, the shrink FSLogix. You point it to your container and you see all the container in your environment, and obviously of is the container locked or not. And then I take one and say compact, and you see the reducing of the
Manuel, can I interrupt you?
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Because I got a question. It's not a question, but there's a point. One guy wrote that I need to jump out. I look forward to part 2. Are we having a part 2?
I think so.
Exactly.
Not yet, but we can make a part 2 with the rest of the demo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We don't see obviously the end result of the compacting. No, this is not available in FSLogix. It's on the following site, citrixirc.com. It's the address to the tool is in the web, in the slide deck.
Okay, I think we have saw everything today.
Yeah.
But we want to see. It's interesting technical stuff. We could talk, like 8 hours if you want.
Without any problem.
So, but I think we need to get those people to sleep,
I see one question. Can you use WAM to apply the settings instead of GPOs? Sure, if you use the regular script keys. Sorry, Stephanie.
Well, that's okay.
No, Manuel, you're right. You're right, but you're perfectly right, because you're a techie, you're a nerd, you know your stuff.
All All right. Well, it sounds like maybe there's a part 2 in the works. I don't know. Can you guys see my screen now? It looks like in my preview, it looks like it's all white.
Yeah, it's white.
It's all white. That's interesting.
We are running late. I see there's
Yeah.
still over 100 attendees.
Oh, wow. How very interesting. Let me stop and start. Well, we're having technical screen. Here we go. Do you see it now?
Yeah, we see it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yay. All right. We did it. Okay. I threw a couple of links in the chat for you, a couple of Citrix events that are coming up. One in December is a virtual summit. It's about employee experience. CUGC will have a booth there. So love to have you stop by, say hello, and then check out all of the content for the day. It's a full day of really great content. And also the other thing that's the time of year already to start thinking about Citrix Synergy, even though it's in May. But right now is the best time to buy your pass because you can get one, buy one, get one free. So it's definitely the best time for that. And finally, I just have one last slide just to remind you, if you haven't been out to mycugc.org, you should stop by. We have local groups all around the world. We have over 75 groups globally. They meet all the time. It's a great place for you to meet your fellow Citrix users and ask questions, get your questions answered, give advice, get advice. It's just a great place to learn and network and meet people. We have a lot of events. Next year, we're going to have a lot of Excel events, which is our larger day-long events in different cities. So be sure to check out our events calendar. I put a link in the chat for that as well. Our events calendar has our webinars and our local meetings all over the place. So surely there's one near you. So check it out. There's also technical blogs and forum discussions. So great place to ask questions online. We have a lot of smart people in our community. So if you have a question, please ask it. And who knows, you may have an answer for somebody out there who's looking for help. So please visit mycugc.org and also follow us on Twitter at mycugc. That's where you can stay up to date on the latest things that are going on with CUGC, latest events. We post all of our newest blog posts. Everything goes out there on Twitter. So hope to see you out there. And with that, I just want to thank you all for coming to this webinar today. I want to thank Jani and Manuel. And it sounds like there were so many questions. And I think that is so great. I'm going to get these guys all the questions. And what I'm going to do is once they give me some answers, we'll create a forum on the CUGC forums, and I'll try to get that link publicized if I don't get it back in time to put it in the webinar tomorrow or the email tomorrow that goes out with the recording link. I will get that publicized on Twitter, so be on the lookout for that. But we'll get these questions answered, and I will talk to them about a part 2 because I'll need new content in 2020.
Yeah. Thank you, Barry. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day, and we'll hopefully see you at mycugc.org soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.